Well, hello and welcome to day 3 at Euro 2012 in Serbia and this Group B match between Macedonia and Sweden. My name is Paul Bray. Thanks for joining us here at the Sports Arena Čair in Niš in the south of Serbia. We're some 250 kilometers, in fact, south of the capital, where this group had a rest day yesterday. But on the opening day, Sweden battled from 4 goals down midway through the second half to beat Denmark 27-26. in their opening match, while Macedonia put in a lackluster performance and was swept aside 29-13 by World Championship silver medalist France. So it's all to do for Serbia's southern neighbours. And while Sweden may be favourites to win this game, they mustn't take the Macedonians for granted. They have a point to prove here today. But assuming all goes to plan, then Sweden may well be able to turn the bench. So here is confirmation then, and Macedonia against Sweden coming up very shortly. Later today in the same group, we will have France against Denmark. There is confirmation of the running order. Well, a win today will guarantee Sweden a spot in the next round, but any other result will leave the fate of both teams in the balance until the last preliminary round of matches on Saturday. This is how the table looks at the moment. France top of the group with 2 points with that big win over Macedonia. Sweden right behind them on goal difference. Denmark and Macedonia have yet to put points on the board. Well, Macedonia can in fact still go through even if they suffer their second defeat here today. And they're the referees, Zigmar Stolarovs and Renar Lisic from Latvia. And the table official for the HF will be Nikolai Viziciu of Moldova. And now the national anthem.
National anthem of Macedonia.
So we start with Macedonia. Well, a lot of Macedonian fans there made the short trip up from the border to the south, and now the anthem of Sweden. Well, a great start by Sweden on the opening day. That win against Denmark, the arch rivals. Here's the lineup then for Macedonia. Julija Nikolic, who came out of short-lived international retirement to play here, has been the most potent attacker. Some of the other older hands, though, playmaker Červenskova and Bajramovska, have a lot to prove still, I'm afraid, with their first performance. There is Bajramovska, 1 goal from 8 attempts in her first match, but Nikolic, she, on the other hand, scored 6 and really did try and drive the team almost single-handedly. Namoska also played rather well in goal for them. For Sweden, 9 players remain from their Olympic team, but left-back Johanna Alm was hugely impressive against Denmark with 10 goals from 13 shots. But Torstensson and Gulden, well, they didn't have their best of days. Grupström also a bit disappointing goal with a 24% save rate, but probably still likely to start. But some of the new players did impress. There is Maria Olsen, the other goalkeeper, who came in and put in a 50% save rate. That was brilliant. And Johanna Alm, star of the show 2 days ago, with 10 from 13. A 77% success rate. There's Gino Strezovski, the Macedonian coach, who has taken his team to their 4th participation in the European Championships and hoping against the odds here today. But he has tried to take the pressure off by reminding everyone that they can still qualify even if they lose here today. They'd have to make sure they beat Denmark. There's Torbjørn Klingvall, the new coach of the Swedish team, took over from the very successful Per Johansson, working in tandem with the former international Thomas Sivertsson, and will have been pleased to make a winning start. He has been coach of some of the younger age group Swedish national teams, but now in charge of the senior squad, and starts with a win against Scandinavian neighbours in his first major competition in charge of the Swedish national team. Well, he did warn, though, that although this match is extremely important, he doesn't want to talk about being favourites. He said we've got to focus on our play and get things right on the day. So we're ready. Swedes on the halfway line wait for the referees from Latvia to get us going. So here we go then. Sweden in the all-blue strip today, throw off, playing from right to left. A win on the opening day 2 days ago against Denmark, while Macedonia in the yellow kit suffered a heavy defeat, 13 goals at the hands of France, and really want to prove that that was a blip, and they'll get it right today. First free throw of the game for the foul on Ulrika Ågren. Ågren, who barely played 2 minutes in the match, and a friendly warning early on here, I think, for Grozdanovska. So Torstensson starts at left back position. A penalty, the foul on Ulrika Ågren. There's the player who got caught out, Robertina Mechevska, an experienced player, 69 internationals. Gulden. And she sends the Macedonian captain, Tanya Andreeva, the wrong way and gets the opening goal of the game. Good to settle your nerves early. So Papudieva disappears off into her wing. Nikolic has started at right back. That's an interesting combination. She's a right-hander, but they don't really have any left-handed right backs. They take turns from the left back or centre players to go into that position instead. Oh, brilliant pass, and Ågren puts it wide. Gulden, the provider, didn't get near Andreeva's posts. And they're level. Baramovska. Torben Klingvall not too happy about that missed shot at the other end, I'm sure. Inside the area this time by Ågren, and they're trying to force the ball into the line a lot. Nearly, but not close enough. Little misunderstanding, nearly stolen, and in the end they tidy up. So they have Valen on the far side, and Gulden, 23-year-old who plays for Viborg in Denmark. In fact, 8 of the Swedish team play in the Danish league, arguably the toughest women's league in the world. Little crossover. Oh, the gap's there. Where was the defence? But there's holding on the line, and that's why the gap was there. Only because they were holding. And it's spotted by the Latvian referees. Free throw. Long build-up, no need to rush. Torstensson, he didn't have a fantastic day yesterday, in fairness, and the ball is stolen, and back come the Macedonians. Tries to bounce the ball through, but Jakobsen cuts it out effortlessly. Torstensson scored 1 from 5 in their opening match only, and again Ågren constantly in the right place and causing problems at this early stage for the Macedonian defence. 1.77 m, constantly poised in the right place. She's 5th top scorer last year in the Danish league, where she played for Esbjerg. She's now moved to Randers, the champions. Into the wing, unlucky. That wasn't a bad play, sucking the defence in. Mladenovska, and then trying to release the ball out, but just couldn't quite get it away. Into the wing, tried to spin it. That's all she could do from that kind of angle, but no luck. Torstensson, and the captain Andreeva looks to her defence and said, "Where on earth were you?" She just strolled through. So after an opening exchange, 1 apiece, we hit the 5-minute mark with Sweden scoring 3 in succession to lead 4-1. It is interesting that they have decided to put Nikolic at right back. You'd think that would probably take away from her, but obviously not the way they feel. Looking for the wing, fouled in the process. They'll come back again on that one there. Baramovska had the dreadful opening match. 1 goal from 8 attempts. She's one of 9 players who play for the Macedonian champions Metalurg Skopje. Gives them a little bit of stability. Oh, big gap on the wing. Nicely done. Papudieva, 35-year-old who plays in Turkey for Bodrum. Shot efficiency, 80% for Sweden. Half of that, I'm afraid, for the Macedonians at the moment. Got a free throw and a yellow card. Number 11 for Macedonia, Mirjeta Bajramovska, the 28-year-old. One of the team veterans, 2 World Championships and a European Championship under her belt. But there's the foul again. Just gave a little tug from behind. It was subtle, but it was spotted. The referee was right there, and unfortunately for Ågren, she's gone down heavily and smacked her face on the floor. There's the captain, Tanja Andreeva. Also had a miserable opening game, 13% save rate. She was replaced after 11 minutes, and Ågren looks in some distress, it has to be said, but seems to be saying, I'm going to stay on. Maybe rechannel some of that pent-up frustration from that last foul into playing. So penalty to be taken by Gulden again. Top corner. She's found that a couple of times now already in this game. And it's her 3rd goal of the game. 2nd penalty. Tries to go all the way through on her own. She won't get in there. Little handoff. Macedonians looking a little bit better, more flowing with their attacks, but they just haven't got the teeth, unfortunately. Oh, what a shame. Helleberg had an empty goal in front of her after the goalkeeper misread it, but just couldn't control the ball to... all she had to do was push it into the empty goal. Now Klingvall, Sweden's new coach, looks on a little bit bemused, but Jakobsen's picked up a yellow card. Is it? No, it's Gulden. He gave that little shove. Have a look at it there. There it is. Well, we just missed the actual incident. Shoulder barge, but it was enough to slow the play down on the pass. Attacking foul. Sweden get the ball back. Cecilie Grubström says inside the area, in fact. Grubström, the Viborg goalkeeper, picks the ball up quickly. Ogren, foul, play on, they say. Jakobsen's got the ball. She's shifted into the left-back position. They'll change again as Torstensen goes there. Jakobsen, who's a playmaker, Dranes, goes off to the right-hand side. Oh, well stolen. Break is on. Červenskova decided to slow down instead of trying to press home the advantage. And I think to the frustration of Pečevska, the winger on the far side, who'd come in right in front of her and was in a very good position to take advantage if she'd kept the flow going. Penalty. Good drive through this time. And I think Isabelle Gulden. Is it? Oh no, there it is. Nikolic will prepare to take the penalty. Hawia, who's come on now, is the player who got bowled over on that last attack, but has conceded the penalty. She was inside the area at the time. Nikolic. Oh, poor penalty. She's trying to put it through her legs. The ball has to at least be level with the feet when you hit the ground on that one. Didn't manage that at all. So a comfortable save for Grubström, and the attack resumes with Hawia, the winger who was bowled over on that last attack. None the worse on the far side, and Gulden gets goal number 4. There's a celebration after that goal, and a team timeout has been called by Macedonia. 4 from 4 for Gulden, who's played now over 100 internationals for her country, scoring 288 internationals. Well, before the game started, Strezovski said they still thought they had a chance of qualifying for the main round. He thought today would be the tougher of the 2 remaining games. He thinks that maybe Denmark, who have some injury problems and have bought some younger and maybe less experienced players, might be a better opportunity for Macedonia than Sweden. They just need to be a little bit more incisive in attack. They are very cautious. They're pulling up, and the fast break previously when Červenskova had a chance to go all the way through, and instead, when she had Pečevska in front of her, looked behind her for a pass, went safe, instead of trying to press home the advantage. So Torbjörn Klingvall with his back to us replaced Per Johansson. So here we go again. Coming up to 10 minutes played, then Sweden leading 6-2 in this Group B match. Little dummies called. Nikolic. Nikolic waits wide again. Well, crossovers, but they still end up out at 9.5, 10 metres. If you're doing crossovers, the idea really is to try and drive in the defence, push them back and get in close. They do the crossovers, but they do them outside the 9 metre. Oh, Torstensen gets the penalty, though, after good save by Andreeva. And Červenskova not too happy with that. It wasn't her that gave away the penalty, though. I think it was the little shove by Pečevska afterwards. Gulden again. Through the legs. And she's already on 5 goals just after the 10-minute mark. 3rd penalty for her. Building up from a long way out, even though Sweden are happy to defend 6-0. Put in a second line player, but in the meantime they've given the ball away. Sweden break out quickly. Should have either gone for the shot or passed the ball before she took off. The gap was big enough to go through, though. Now to the wing. That's more like it. They didn't spread it wide at all against France. They were trying to batter the door down all the time and never looked to their wingers. So much so that you started to feel they should have brought a deck chair and a good book. Oh, blocked by one of the defenders, took the sting out of the shot. The break is on, but it's too far, and Andreeva will mop that up comfortably. And Grubström, who managed just a 24% save rate against Denmark on Tuesday evening, before she was swapped over with Maria Olsen, who managed a 50% save rate. Admittedly, she only played for 18 minutes, but still took 8 shots and saved 4 of them. No way through, and she'll have to come back. They've now brought into the fray Maria Steriova, one of the newer players, the number 91. She's 21 years of age, 7 internationals to her name before coming here. Brilliant shot, straight over the head of Grubström. And it's Nikolic. That'll help after a bit of a spell without scoring. They've gone 7 minutes without scoring before that, the Macedonians. The ball nearly stolen. It is stolen, in fact. As the ball came down, it touched the foot of the Swedish players. Well, some of the other players on the bench, I suspect if the scoreline continues to grow, and interestingly, Sweden have actually had more turnovers than Macedonia, but if this gap continues to grow, it will, of course, give Klingvall a chance to turn his bench a bit more and get some of the newer players. Sand, Hawia has already had a chance on, and Vesterberg to come in and get a little bit more of a run out. You always have to be mindful of the fact that the goal difference for the 3 teams out of 4 that qualify from each group are carried forwards. There is just ever such a slight danger that, of course, if Macedonia then were to beat Denmark on Saturday and went through to the main round, that the result of this match would be carried forwards into the next stage. So free throw for Sweden. Long range shot, and still it won't work for Torstensson as it comes off the bar and goes all the way back down the court. Grubström picks it up, and Sweden head back into the attack again. And suddenly Macedonia go from a 6-0 defence to an aggressive defence and an attacking foul. Not sure if they deemed she took too many steps, but either way, Macedonia on the attack again. Couple of minutes without a goal now. Little handoff. That's saved comfortably this time. Gulden, quick pass down. It was very well played. Came off the keeper. It'll be a throw into Sweden. But Andreeva saves off Helleberg. And saves again. Not only knocks the ball away, actually holds it. Came out quickly. And as Emma Hawia, 21-year-old newcomer to the team, tries to lob the Macedonian captain, she sneaks the ball out of the air. And midway through the first half, it's Sweden 7, Macedonia 3. Macedonians have stemmed the tide a little after conceding a 6-1 exchange. Brilliantly done. And it's a penalty. The foul on Mladiruska by Torstensson. What a fantastic pass into her. But Torstensson right from the outset was standing inside the area to block it. And it's going to be another chance for Nikolic. Well, no. She's handed the ball to Červenkovska. Scores without any problem. Sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. And they're back to within 3. Well, it's a good play by Macedonia to steady things. It's so easy to just lose your footing completely when Sweden appeared to be on a real run. Stolen. They're defending so much better with more conviction, and a yellow card on Ivana Sazdowski. 22-year-old who plays for Vardar Skopje. And a save again by Andrieva of Torstensson. Andrieva goes for the long pass. She's done it through the legs of the keeper, and the crowd are in raptures. Papudieva gets her second, and it's a 3-goal run by Macedonia all of a sudden, and the game has a new complexion. They're not one of the big handballing nations, Macedonia, but in the qualifiers for Euro 2012, they did beat France at home by 3 goals. It was seen to be a big shock at the time, 30-27 the scoreline. They met 3 days later in France for the return leg. France won 40-20, I think put the record straight, but it shows that they can surprise. Well, a mistake in defence this time in Torstensson. Walked straight through. Second goal for her, and it brings to an end a run of 3 goals from Macedonia. They're still low on their shot efficiency at 36%. If they could just put those away, it would be very different. Saved. The ball comes out quickly. 2 players are still down, but play on, say the referees. Torstensson. Gulden has to turn to get free and run straight into 2 defenders, and this time it's an attacking foul. In fact, it's Jakobsen, but one of the players is still down. Jakobsen is a big player, 1.80 m. Spun past the first one there. The 2 defenders closed quickly, and in fact the contact was with Nikolic, who took the full force of the blow and is still down. Nikolic announced a retirement from the Macedonian national team in June, but was persuaded to come back into the team by Strezovski. It was a very short retirement for Nikolic, a veteran of 57 internationals, 187 goals. She actually plays a club handball for Zvezda Zvenigorod in Russia, where she was looking to concentrate all her efforts going forwards. So Macedonia have now put Ivana Sazdowska into the the right back position rather. They do just tend to turn those positions because, as mentioned earlier, they don't have a recognised left-handed right back. You might say that's a little unusual, but in fact, if you think about it, for quite a few years, before the likes of Baracher arrived, France, who were are one of the most successful men's team of all time, had a similar situation where they had a lot of left-back right-handers playing in the right-back position very successfully. Fernandez, Narcisse. So 8-5 to Sweden. After a fast start to the game, it's all slowed down quite dramatically now. Good save again by Andrieva. And Sweden come back to try and spoil the effort. The ball is still loose. It's going to be a free throw. And Sweden defending for all they're worth there. Grupstrom at the moment is on a 55% save rate, the Swedish keeper. At the other end, Andrieva is on 38%. So with Nikolic now able to play in a more central role. Sazdowski in at right back. Oh, looking for the line, I think, but Roberts has stolen it. And another save by Andrieva. What a different performance we're seeing from her today. 13% save rate on the opening day, and today she's now up to 43%. So we passed the 20-minute mark in the first half. Sweden, though, still leading 8-5. Slow build-up. It's more patient than it was the other day, and they are spreading it wide, which they definitely didn't do the other day. Looks to the line. Not a great pass, unfortunately. By the time Papudieva's got it under control, there are 3 defenders around her. Shot goes wide. Well, these two teams met at Euro 2008 in Macedonia in the main round. Sweden only just winning 24-23. Macedonians helped to some extent by home advantage. Ball goes over, clips the bar and stays out. It's a throw into Macedonia. The goalkeeper didn't touch it. So Bayramovska back in at left back. Shot efficiency dropping dramatically, I'm afraid, for the Macedonians. It's now down to 26%. Oh, too many steps. Throw taken from the wrong place. They'll have to come back again. And frustration for Bayramovska, the 28-year-old, plays for the champions Metalurg Skopje. Well, I guess it's next best thing to playing at home for the Macedonians here in Niš. They just literally are a short bus ride from their border to the south. When they had hosted the men's European Championships earlier this year, the Macedonian team rather had huge support coming through. Andreeva tries to marshal her players, the captain. They are still in control, but not closing the gap at the moment. And a lot of turnovers by both sides so far. That's in the tournament, that figure, not just in this game. Nikolic, that's brilliantly played, and a penalty. A little push in the back on Pechevska, and a yellow card for Hawia. Gulden can smile a little about that, but the penalty will be taken by Chervenskovska. Coolly taken. Second goal for her, both from the penalty line. And they are within 2. Chervenkovska, who plays club handball for Salerno in Italy. It's been a 4-1 exchange for Macedonia, and the Swedes are struggling to pull themselves out of this mire, and not helped by a fair bit of woodwork interfering as well. Make it, that's the third shot to come off the crossbar. And the crowd are really trying to lift the Macedonian team here. The only thing is that the Macedonians don't have the same strength in depth as the inside the area, won't count. Don't have the same strength in depth as the Swedes, and as the match goes on, you wonder if that rear lineup of Bayramovska, Chervenkovska and Nikolic will eventually tire. Probably helps that they had a day off yesterday. The other two groups had to carry on and play straight after the opening day. But the Swedes do have more strength in depth to be able to close it. Andreeva, it's given. They said crossed the line before she pulled it back out again. And Westerberg, 22-year-old debutant for the Swedish team, makes it 9-6. Andreeva not happy. We probably won't be able to determine it particularly well from this side, but the referee was very well placed right alongside the goal. The whole ball has to cross the line. How often we've heard that one. But he was right next to it. Good play. Well, that's what they need. Bayramovska. They're showing the kind of determination that was sadly lacking against France the other day, where they were playing a long way out in a tunnel vision straight down the middle. They're playing it wide, they're driving in well, they're looking for the chances. It's improving by the minute here. Oh, how unlucky. Did all the hard work. Cuts back inside, releases the ball. Nicely done. Meczewska, the line player. Hard work all done by Papudievo. Stole the ball, went up, sucked the defenders in. And Meczewska, who scored 2 against France, makes it 8-9 only, and a team timeout called by Klingvall. Main thing is not to panic for Sweden. There is still plenty of time. 4 minutes to the break and another 30 minutes still. There in the back is Thomas Sivertsen, great player in the golden era of Swedish handball, assistant to Klingvall. Sweden, who were silver medalists, lost to Norway in the European Championships 2 years ago. And they played in Aarhus. They then finished 9th only in the World Championship, Sweden, disappointingly, and went out in the group stages at the Olympics after really failing to come alive at all. For Macedonia, well, their last appearance in a major final was in European Championships in 2008, when they finished 7th in this same tournament. So let's see what Klingvall and Sivertsen have been able to change here. Well, they spread it wide. Pays dividends immediately with Hellebert scoring. Puts it over the top of Andreeva. Brings up double digits for the Scandinavians. Hellebert, who, along with 7 other of her teammates, plays in Denmark for Esbjerg. As a replacement at the Olympic Games in London, but didn't get to play in the end. Now they've got in too close. They've lost the momentum on the attack. They've got to pull back a bit while Nikolic is being individually marked on the far side by Fogelström. Passive play is being warned, and everyone anticipating a shot by Nikolic. Would have been, had it not been for a poor pass to her, and instead it's Sweden who come out. The wingers are free. Couldn't control the ball, fumbles it. Andreeva rather spectacularly dives on the ball, didn't need to. He would have come off the Swedish line player. And a wasted opportunity, shooting too soon this time, Nikolic, and Grubström's able to put the ball back out, and the Macedonians struggling to close the gap, and Andreeva just got her foot to it, and she's putting in a heroic performance here, the Macedonian captain. Not sure if she just towed it. Showing a 38% save rate at the moment. Andreeva, the 34-year-old veteran of 2 World Championships and 2 European Championships. Free throw. Klingvall still looking a little anxious. 1.5 minutes to the break. Completely lost the control of the ball. Chervenskova right at the end there, it slipped out of her hand and just went skywards. Jamila Roberts looks for the crossover, nearly intercepted as Vesper tried to come in behind her. Trying to go in behind, but the foul on Jamila Roberts beforehand means that it will be a free throw for Sweden, and we have 1 minute to go to the half-time break. Sweden in no rush to press home this attack, just make sure it counts. Roberts all the way through, and it's a 2-minute suspension as well, I'm afraid. Roberts, whose stock in trade are these darting runs in, where she suddenly cuts back towards the centre And that little push in the back, I think, by Czerwenkowska has probably seen her sent off. It has indeed. And so Macedonia will finish the first half and begin the second half short-handed. But at least they have possession at the beginning of the second half, can try and run down the clock. So into the back comes Georgievska after that last suspension. They're playing without line at the moment. Terrible pass in, would have done better to let the ball go out. Instead it's been intercepted. Sweden come back. Into the line. It's going to be a free throw and seconds to take it only. Blom, who's come on, just couldn't control the ball. And the referees are saying no, defenders are still in the way. You've got to wait and come and take it from the right place, which is a bit further over, it seems the referee is saying, and it will be a direct throw. Looks like Vestberg, 1.85 m, one of the tallest players, will potentially have a go as all the Macedonians line up in a defensive wall. One shot then that will bring on half-time. Oh, tries to lob it well over the top, and that's it then, half-time in this Group B match in Niš. And after a solid start to take a 7-2 lead, Sweden then started floundering, and then Macedonia really came to life, got back to within one. But at the break, Sweden have put a little bit of control back on the game and are leading 11-8 against the Macedonians. It's a lot tighter than you might have expected after that first 15 minutes when Sweden looked as if they were going to rack up a basketball score. Well, here are the statistics. 40% success rate on Sweden, shooting 34% on their attack. That's not good, but then Macedonia down on 27%. 12 turnovers by Sweden, and those mistakes are costing them. 9 for the Macedonians. Well, they've been 3 penalties aside, but Macedonia have missed one of those. And look at those long gaps there when suddenly the Swedes stopped scoring and Macedonia got back into the game, and then the whole game has stagnated somewhat with only 6 goals in the last 12 minutes of the first half or so. Gulden is top scoring with 5. Several other players are on 2 goals. Baramovska, Czerwenkowska and Torstensson for Sweden. But as befits a low-scoring game, it's fairly well spread out at the moment. So welcome back to the Sports Arena Chair in Niš in the south of Serbia. Half-time in this Group B match. Macedonia about to throw off the second half. They are trailing 8-11 against Sweden. It is not the end of the line for the Macedonians. Were they to lose here today, they could still qualify if they could beat Denmark in their final match on Saturday. So here we go then, Macedonia, who still have a 2-minute suspension to serve out on Červenkovska. And so will be short-handed still for another minute. Gulden top scoring in the first half for the Swedes with 5 goals, 3 of them penalties. And it's a very different looking Macedonia to the team we saw a couple of days ago. And they hit back early on. Sazdovski, 22-year-old debutant in the Macedonian team, was picked in the build-up to Euro 2012, having never played for her country at all, the 22-year-old. But Torstensson responds very quickly to restore that 3-goal lead from half-time. Torstensson's 3rd goal of the game. Well, Nikolic, conversely, has been very quiet. Oh, right through the keeper. Baramovska with a 3rd goal. And the fans love it. Huge numbers of Macedonians have made the journey, hoping that the team could lift itself from a poor performance against France on Tuesday. But every time they score, Torstensson seems to come back again and launch a long-range effort. Their defence simply too shallow. They're flat-footed all the time. Mečevska has now gone in on the line in place of Mladenovska, who played most of the first half. Free throw to Macedonia. Back to full strength, incidentally, for a little while. And we'll have another free throw. Playing a 6-0 defence, plenty of depth. Sand's gone in on the far side for Sweden at the beginning of the second half as well with a headband. Scored a stunning Kempe goal against Denmark in the opening game. Nothing given. Ball is loose. Sweden pick it up. And Macedonians have managed to marshal themselves back in defence quickly enough. Ogren briefly free, but is now covered. Andrieva, good save. Oh! Where did that come from? Such a quick arm. Baramovska again, number 4. Well, she had a point to prove after scoring only 1 from 8 in the opening game. Perfect response. Little handoff, and I could swear that the ones who are chanting at the moment, they're actually the French supporters who are probably waiting for the France-Denmark game. Long-range shot deflected off the hands of one of the defenders, took the sting out of it, and a comfortable pick-up for Andrieva. So slow build-up, more patience, certainly more width on the attack today for the Macedonians. Oh, just kept it out, Grubström. Unlucky for Bayramovska. Torstensson scores under a lot of pressure, and the small band of Swedish supporters have something to applaud. But I think that number 5, Sazdowski, will count herself lucky that the referees have left it as it is, because that push on the back under other circumstances could well have seen her sent off for 2 minutes. So 5 minutes played in the second half, and Sweden still hold on to a 3-goal lead, but they're matching each other shot for shot here. Free throw pass not quite reaching Nikolic, who's now gone into the left back position. She's played all the positions across the back now. Well, she's absolutely got her confidence up, Sazdowski, and for a player making a debut for her country at this event, she started with 3 goals against France. And now she's scored 2 here in the second half. I think they may have a bit of a star of the future. Looking for the line. The whistle's already gone. She was inside the area anyway. And they'll come back. Torstensson, who plays for Krim Ljubljana in Slovenia, was formerly with Midtjylland in Denmark. She's one of their most experienced players. 124 internationals, 517 goals for her country. Torstensson, number 17 in the back there. Although that is dwarfed by their line player number 3, Kristina Flonman, who's played 215 times, scoring 381 goals. And this is the last block incident and an injury to Sazdowski. He got a hand caught, I think, just inside the crook of the elbow of Torstensson, completely accidentally, and probably bent her fingers, and she's been called off. And they can probably shift Bayramovski or Chervenkovska over there. I want to make sure that she is okay. Torstensson, and she too can do no wrong. She scored all 4 goals for Sweden in the second half. It's her 6th. And she too had a point to prove after scoring only 1 from 5 in the first game. She's now on a 75% success rate here. And we've got a 2-minute suspension for that foul on Nikolic. And Sazdowski is back on again. And Ulrika Ågren picks up a 2-minute suspension. So a chance maybe for the Macedonians to close this 3-goal gap. Trying to find the line. They was lucky to get the rebound. Oh, Bayramovska. Good hard shot, but well read this time by Grubström, who deflects it away. Grubström on a 45% save rate. Torstensson's being individually marked now. No real surprise there after she scored 6 goals. And they may as well, while they have the extra player available. She goes in on the line to get out of the way. And may suddenly dart back. Here she goes. They've got to pick her up again. Roberts, and that's an attacking foul. Gulden running into the defender. The goalkeeper Andreeva has gone for the long throw, but Louise Sand picks out the ball. Ironically, the shortest player on the court is the one that makes the interception. Still, though, Sweden have had more turnovers. They've got 40 seconds to play till they're back to full strength again. Torstensson is now simply staying a long way at the back with the likes of Roberts playing at the back. She's so quick, she will drive into gaps. The problem is that if she goes on the line, Torstensson, she just puts in an extra defender and herself there as well. Passive play is being worn, so a quick shot is needed. And that's an attacking foul. It's called against Fogelström, the Severhof right winger, and Klingvall not happy with that. But then you never will be. Meanwhile, Sweden are back to full strength. They've weathered the storm through that 2-minute suspension. And Ågren slots in second from the right as the Swedes look at their own defence. So Baramovska has now gone into the left-back position, attacking foul. Too many steps, I think. Torstensson, so much space, you give her that, she'll blast it. And she has now scored all 5 goals in the second half. Biggest lead yet here in this second half, 16-12. Not in the game, though. They were 7-2 up at one point, Sweden, in the first half, until the Macedonians woke up, and in fact have since then been outscoring the Swedes. And that's a penalty. Nice little block by Mechevska, went up, blocked the front defender, slotted back again. Look at her block there, and then run back in behind. And as she goes to shoot, Torstensson's defending well inside the area. And the change of goalkeeper for Sweden. In comes Maria Olsen. 25-year-old who plays for Aalborg in Denmark. She's up against Červenkovska. Coolly taken by the 29-year-old who plays in Italy for Salerno. Third goal for her. But still, Sweden lead by 3. We're just past the 10-minute mark in the second half. Oh, fantastic pass. Gulden looks to her right, but flicks the ball into Ågren. And the players were following her eyes rather than her hand. Second goal for Ågren. Swedes waiting back for the Macedonians. Afraid that they don't have as much firepower as you might think at the back, and therefore it's better to block the gaps at 6 meters. But the likes of Bajramovska have shown today that they do have it, as Torstensson, I think, having a rather bizarre exchange with her coach Klingvall. I'm not sure she was taking him entirely seriously. Free throw for Macedonia. Around the body, Mechevska. Second goal for her. Well, to some extent, Fogelström was almost inside the area anyway, but the referees hadn't blown the whistle, let play on. And Mechevska managed to put it in the back of the net. Goalkeeper really unsighted until the ball suddenly came through. Well, a theatrical throw the head there by Gulden. Tries to go all the way through. Well, the Torstensson show continues here in the second half. Goal number 8. Her run of 6 goals, only interrupted once by a line goal from Ågren. Baramovska fumbles the ball on the way in, but she got a call. Must have been a tap on her arm. Into the left-back position has now come Maria Steriova, 21-year-old newcomer to the team with only just 7 internationals to her name. But that shot, unfortunately, by Pechevska goes wide. Doesn't trouble Grubström at all. 13 minutes played in the second half, and there is Pechevska. He gets a bit of a lecture from Strezovski. Shooting efficiency has improved a little for Macedonia. It's at least up at 40% now. And Sweden still doing better at 56. Sand comes around as a second line player now for Sweden. Try to make space for either Gulden or Torstensson. Big angle on the wing, but that's inside the area. It won't count, even though they clipped the bar. Bayramovska looks for options. Sazdowski back on again at right back. Mladinovska being used in defence only at the moment. She goes off, and Pechevska, who missed that last shot from the wing, has been replaced by 25-year-old Mitrova, one of the other newcomers to the team. Looking for the line, it's intercepted. Sand's got it. Looks down the court, no obvious long pass. Still phase two is open here for Sweden if they want it. In the end, though, Torstensson decides to pull the ball up and settle things down. And Roberts, who's not being used in defence, returns into the fray. Oh, lovely pass into the line, and Gulden has got such a great understanding with Ågren. Look at that sublime pass. Windmills past the first one, and as Mechevska moves up to help close the gap on her, she leaves Ågren free, and the ball is served up on a dish. So they're back to the lead they had early on when they were 7-2 up, Sweden. 5-goal difference now midway through the second half. Mitrova coming out and goes back in on the wing. Bayramovska goes well over the top now, and there's always that danger, although they are trying to turn the bench a little here, that the three regular back players will get tired. Trying to close Torstensson quickly. Roberts tries a second time. There's still no gap there. And the Macedonians are now individually marking Torstensson. 5-0-1 defence. She goes back off towards the halfway line. As you can see on the... occasionally, that is, on the left side of the picture. Sand, no way through. Gulden again, she finds the line. An incredible pass with the two defenders, Bayramovska and Mechevska. Caught out by the speed and accuracy of the pass, but Ågren has got injured in the process and is still down. She took a blow to the face earlier on, but what a sublime pass into her. This time I think she just fell awkwardly and is looking in some pain. And a few anxious moments there as Strezovski talks tactics meanwhile on the bench. They are now 6 goals adrift and in danger, and this was always the possibility that as the match went on and the Macedonian experienced players got tired, that Sweden could pull away. Ågren is okay again and comes back, but a team timeout's been called. He was just waiting for her to be fit, and suggesting that he is trying to get as much rest as he can for the likes of Nikolic, although she's been fairly absent in this game compared to the first one, and Bayramovska and Chervenkovska. Nikolic has in fact had quite a lot of time off. She scored 6 in the opening game, albeit fairly expensive. It was from 15 shots, a 40% success rate. 2 of those were penalties, but still was very aggressive in her play, was charging in all the time, was creating openings for others. Unfortunately, Bayramovska, when she did follow in behind to use the space, only scored once out of 8 attempts. And Chervenkovska, in her case, only managed 1 open play goal. Sweden, who were favourites to win this match, have certainly not had it all their own way. When they were 7-2 up early on, you thought this was going to be a huge score, but the Macedonians, all credit to them, have really dug deep So Nikolic is back on again. She's gone in at right back. The impressive newcomer Sazdowski, number 5, is in the centre. And the big gun, Baramovska, is at the left back position. Here comes Baramovska. Not a good pass to her. They've got 2 on the line now. Seeing if that's going to help. Baramovska tries to go all the way through. Solid defending by the Swedish team with Jakobsen in the centre of it. Baramovska. And the ball's loose, picked up by the Swedes. The break is on sand, straight down the middle. Well, I'd say she stepped on the line before she took off. But she's put the ball under the keeper and it's given. And if we'll see her foot when she comes up to it, well, he was very, very close. So 4 goals without reply for Sweden, and suddenly the match looks very different. 17-14 has become 21-14. At one point in the second half, Macedonia managed to get back to within 2, but now it's kind of going ominously towards the expected scoreline, and a mistake there by Machevska. She was inside the area anyway and loses possession. Sweden just need to stay diligent now, stay focused, not try and rush it. They are racking up the goals nice and steadily. Seven goals to the good. Torstensson. Roberts just couldn't quite launch it straight to the wing to gain some space. Torstensson. Well, what is she doing? Well, I'm not sure how Andreeva got the call. She threw herself on the ball, skidded out of her area, and the referee just blew the whistle and gave her the ball. That it's a bit of a let-off after the winger, I think it was Papudieva, tried to knock the ball away when she really had the chance just to pick it up. So Macedonia have now put Nikolic into the centre. She tries a long-range shot, it goes wide. It's just not her day, I'm afraid. 1 goal only from her. Too many steps that looked like, and I think that's what the crowd felt. Wasn't given, and instead Gulden has gone straight through to score, and it's now 5 goals without reply. Gulden 6. Long range shot. They are getting tired now, the Macedonians. You can see it in the shooting. A bit less power and certainly less accuracy. Into the line. Good play. This time Andreeva saves. She was brilliant in the first half, the Macedonian captain in goal, but in the second half she has been let down by her defence a bit, and stats not looking quite as bright anymore. Her percentage rate, which at one point was on 43%, is now on a 29% save rate. Ball comes back out again. Loose ball. Picked up by Steriova. Tries the shot. It's too weak. Oh, a lucky break for them. Drops in front of Sazdowski. Well, they needed that. They'd gone 9 minutes without scoring, the Macedonians, while Sweden had racked up 5 goals, and that is going to be a telling factor in the end, a turning point in this game. We have 10 minutes remaining. But the Macedonians, though, have really given a good account of themselves here. They could so easily have let it all go in the first half when they were heavily down against the Swedish team, who were working really well at the back. And once more Andreeva. Open goal, she put it wide. Grupstrom had come out trying to cut the winger. Andreeva had the opportunity to get on the score sheet. Nine minutes remaining in the game. Back in comes Joanna Alm for the first time, just getting a little bit of a run out for Sweden. Their top scorer in the opening game with 10 goals. Being rested by Klingvall here today, wasn't really needed. Got a free throw. And Lynn Blum, newcomer to the team, just 20 years of age, on the line, number 7. Had played one international for Sweden before coming here, part of their build-up. Joanna Alm, you'd have thought could have racked up a lot of goals here after scoring 10 against Denmark the other day, but the coach deciding really to give her just a bit part and rest her. She's probably, in her 7th minute in total throughout this game. Really thinking ahead to the match against France on Saturday. Straight down the middle, and again, that's the sign of tiredness when you can't get the direction going anymore. And Gulden happy to give away the free throw. 8 minutes remaining. Sasdowska comes back out again. 22-year-old. Plays for Vardar Skopje in the capital. Free throw. Ball picked up by Lynn Blum. One of 4 players in the Swedish team who play for Sävehof, club who won both the women's and the men's Swedish championship. First time that's happened. Great achievement last season for them. Gulden fouled as she tries to drive through. Foul committed by Blaninovska. Well, the defence just stood still, absolutely static, and Gulden happy to take a chance and just drive through. Windmill feint over the top, and Nikolic absolutely flat-footed. She was moving to the left. I'm not quite sure why she wanted to do that, but that was gifted. Well, the win here today will see Sweden into the main round of the competition. In the next match, all kinds of permutations are possible, as France, who won their opening game, are up against Denmark, who lost against Sweden on Tuesday. If France win, they will also be through to the main round, and then it'll be down to whoever wins between Macedonia and Denmark. But if France lose and the Danes win, then it could come down to a 3-way table between France, Denmark and Macedonia, depending on the outcome of the results on the last day. 6 minutes to go then here. Swedes also making a few unforced errors lately, as they turn the bench in the latter stages of this game. It's almost as if no one wants to really commit themselves now. They're getting tired. They don't want that impact with the defender. You're playing further and further out. It's going wider rather than deep. Baramovska, they've got 2 on the line now. Loose ball, and that would have been an attacking foul. I would have thought otherwise, but Steryova again tries to take a long-range shot for the Macedonians and can't clear the wall. She puts it straight into the hands of the defender. Klingvall still not looking entirely happy, but the points are in the bag and qualification is secured. Surely that's the main thing. Sweden, who arrived here on the back of 3 defeats in the Möbelringer Cup to France, Norway and Denmark. All close, mind you. It's nicely done by Lynn Blum. Scored 2 against Denmark. She's now got herself on the score sheet in this game as well with her first goal. Well, Sweden did qualify for the European Championships from Group 5 with dropping only 1 point on the way, and away draw rather against Austria, but finished top of Group 5 ahead of the Czech Republic, who qualified with them, and then Austria and Slovenia, who failed to qualify. Well, the Macedonians came in from Group 4, where they finished behind France, having beaten France at home. They qualified ahead of Turkey and Lithuania, who failed to make the grade from that group. Well, that's a penalty by Ramovska on a rare foray forwards in the second half. Gets a little shove from Blum. And a quick check to the bench, and Grubström's told no, stay in goal, you're fine. And Czerwenkowska steps up again. And fails, and she's tired as well. She hobbles away from the 7-meter line. The ball is loose, and we've had a collision, a heavy collision. Mechevska, all 83 kilos of her. And let's have a quick look again. There is the collision. She absolutely clatters into Johanna Westerberg and sent the Swedish back player flying. Klingvall looks on impassively. Quick look up at the clock will tell him that it's nearly over. Points are in the bag and qualification is secure, but for Westerberg, well, let's hope that it's nothing too serious and it's just the fact of being winded. Well, she went over the top and then landed awkwardly on the base of the spine. But she landed like a plank, which may well have winded her. She's up and will come off, but is looking in some distress. Polite applause around the hall as she takes her place on the bench. A few Swedes there looking anxious in the crowd as play resumes. So Torstensson is back off the bench to cover for the injured Westerberg, with Johanna Alm getting a slightly longer run out now. Roberts tries to go all the way through, managed to get enough height to push her way through, and it's a 2-minute suspension. 3 minutes to go, and it's a 10-goal lead. Mladinovska is the player who's just been sent off for Macedonia. A bit of a push in the back on Roberts as she went through, in fact shoved her into Mechevska. And it means that by the time Macedonia get back to full strength, we will be well into the last minute of the game. Well, it looked as if Macedonia could possibly pull off a surprise in the first half. 3 goals in it at half-time, 11-8 in a low-scoring first half. It has started fast and then ground to a halt. But in the second half, after a few early exchanges between the two teams, with the score at 14-12, it's all gone terribly wrong for the Macedonians. Scored only 3 times since then. A 9-minute spell without goals initially. And it's now been nearly 10 minutes since they last scored a goal. But it has been a very slow last 10 minutes. And another goal for Sweden. Lindblom, her second of the game, and that's been a run of 4 goals without reply, to add to the 5-0 exchange during that 9-minute barren spell for Macedonia earlier on. Well, utterly exhausted, the Macedonians, scoring just 2 goals in 20 minutes of play. They threw everything into this game in the early stages, and we always felt that as the game went on, they could well tire. We're well into the last minute now, and I think it's going to be relief for the Macedonians. They fought bravely, but they didn't have the strength in depth on the bench. And as their starting lineup tired, I'm afraid their shooting has gone completely off beam, and only Sazdowski and Mechevska have managed to find the net in the last 20 minutes, while the Swedes have been angling away with 9 goals. Little feedback again, seconds remaining, that won't count, it's an attacking foul, and Macedonia have the ball for the last few seconds. Goal difference is irrelevant to them now, really. They just have to rely on a solid win against Denmark. The ball's loose, and that's it. Sweden have won then 26-15. We'll hope that Johanna Westerberg, the back player who was taken off, will be okay. But I'm afraid the exhausted Macedonians managed just 2 goals in the last 20 minutes. And even though the Swedes weren't rampant in that stage, 9 goals rather in 20 minutes isn't a charge exactly, but it was just steady. They knew it, they were putting them away, and the Macedonians just had no energy left to counter them. It's been a comfortable win in the end for the Swedes, although at 14-12, well, the Macedonians still thought maybe they could do it, but they were running on empty by then already, and in the end Sweden have won it comfortably 26-15 here in Niš. So the Macedonian fans who've made the trip up from the south, I'm afraid, will be disappointed again here today. And it's a 26% success rate only for Macedonia in this game, and that was the real problem for them. 45% for Sweden, not cracking in itself, but it's just the fact that the Macedonians ran completely out of energy and could only manage those 2 goals in 20 minutes that left them wanting in the end. And there's confirmation. Look at that barren spell at the end. It just absolutely dried up, while Sweden just consistently piled on the goals and turned the bench in the process as well, even resting Alm for much of it. Torstensson ends up on 8, Gulden on 7 to top score, while Pupedjeva and Barjamovska were the top scorers for Macedonia with 4 goals apiece. And this is where the goals came from for Macedonia, mostly from the back, only 1 from the wing, and then 3 penalties and 2 fast breaks to add to that. And for Sweden, well, it's mostly down the left-hand side, as you can see, nothing from right back or right wing. 2 fast breaks and 3 penalties. The main thing for Sweden, though, is that they are through to the main round. And confirmation here that they have finished top. They are with 4 points at the moment. France still have to play Denmark next, and Macedonia stay rooted to the bottom with 0. Hope you enjoyed it. That's it for me now, and thanks for watching. And until next time, from me, Paul Bray, goodbye.